Now I just posted these opposites. Let's take a quick look at the words and understand the meanings. Hidebound. You can see that's the first word. Hidebound means very thick-skinned. Hidebound can also mean very narrow-minded, unwilling to change and reform, die-hard, fanatical. So hide actually means the skin of animals. Tolu, hide. So hidebound means very narrow-minded. Hidebound has another meaning. Hidebound also means very skinny. That means an animal which is very starved. A hidebound cow would mean that the cow is starving and all the bones are visible. That's hidebound means very skinny. So hidebound, the opposite is thin-skinned. Now scatterbrained, you can see scatterbrained means scatterbrained means disorderly, not able to think in a proper, coherent way. Castigate is criticized very severely, so the opposite is reward. Gambol means to jump around like children would do in a park. Frisking, gamboling, caper are all synonyms. So gamboling means move around very lightly and in a happy, sort of playful way. So the opposite is plod. Plod means to work very hard. Plodding. Now I think you are plodding through a lot of vocabulary. Plod is synonymous with trudge, Trudge. Plod can also mean walk with heavy steps. If you have ever walked in a rice field which has water, eh, so you will be wading or plodding through mud. Now let's look at some other words there. Masquerade means to put on a mask and pretend. Masquerade is also a masked ball for Halloween. Dodging is avoid. Digress or digress means to go away from the topic. Raucous voice, the next one. Raucous means very harsh. The opposite is mellifluous, which means very sweet. Buoyant means very lively or simply floating. Taper. Taper, one meaning is it's a candle. In churches, you will find tapers are thin candles. Tapering means getting narrow at one end. So the opposite is broaden. High handed means very arrogant. So the opposite is reasonable. Diminution is reduction. So the opposite is augmentation. Distending. Blood vessels distend in hot weather and constrict in cold weather. So the opposite of distend is shrink. Embroiled in a controversy. Embroil means fully involved. సో తెలుగు వర్డ్ వుడ్ బి కూరుకుపోవడం, పూర్తిగా ఇన్వాల్వ్ అయిపోయాడు. ఎంబ్రాయిల్డ్ ఇస్ అ నెగటివ్ వర్డ్, ఎంబ్రాయిల్డ్ ఇన్ అ కాంట్రవర్సీ. బట్ బ్రాయిల్, బ్రోయిల్, బ్రాయిల్ ఈజ్ ది అమెరికన్ వర్డ్ ఫర్ రోస్ట్. British word is roast. Broiler chicken. Broiler chicken basically means a chicken which is suitable for roasting. All chicken are not suitable for roasting. Roasting is on coals or in an oven, and if the meat is not marbled with sufficient amount of fat, the meat will become very tough. So broiler chicken is basically chicken that is suitable for roasting or tandoor. Tandoor is barbecue, right? So now embroiled means to get into a controversy, so the opposite is disengage. If you see, there's a word remonstrate in B. Remonstrate means to protest very strongly. Remonstrate means to protest strongly. Vouchsafe. Vouchsafe means to guarantee safety or grant something condescendingly. Vouching, I vouch for the quality of this product. Vouch means to give guarantee. Vouchsafe is actually a negative word, but of course, remember, sometimes negative words can be used in a positive context too. Vouchsafe means somebody is saying, "Don't worry, I'm there. Go ahead." So that's a kind of guarantee that you would probably give to a child. So vouchsafe is actually defined as to grant condescendingly. So the opposite is endanger. Now, if you see, there's a word dissemble. Dissemble means to pretend or lie. It is not an opposite of assemble. The opposite of assemble is disassemble. Jettison means to throw out. Throw out. So the opposite is salvage. Salvage means to recover. Muffle the sound. If you see, muffle means to stop. Stoic, imperturbable, and unexcitable and calm and self-possessed. So the opposite is a whiner. Whining means complaining, petty complaining in a nasal tone. If you see, some other words are there. Savant means a scholar. Savant means a very scholarly person. Herald means to announce the arrival of something else. Gamely, courageous. Opposite is fearful. Diligent means hardworking. Crestfallen, that means very sad and disappointed. So the opposite has to be frivolous, because frivolous means light-hearted. Light-hearted. Haughty is arrogant. Tentative, if you can see the word tentative in D, tentative has two meanings. Tentative means preliminary, not final, initial, provisional, hypothetical. And tentative can also mean hesitating. The batsman is tentative on the front foot, hesitating. Desultory, aimless. So the opposite is methodical. Pulchritude means great beauty. Pulchritude describes physical beauty, like a film star, a rock star. So the opposite is unsightly. Unsightly means ugly. The other words, antipathy, strong dislike. Languor, if you see that word, D, languor means laziness, laid back. And the last one is rancor. Rancor means bitterness, ill will, wishing harm.